I think we are live. Good morning from India. I'm just setting up everything, and I know that some of you are going to sleep right now, but we can still give our 30 minutes to hear this incredible story that I've heard and yet another inspiring moms. I mean, this project is bringing so many mothers together, so many inspiring stories that need to be heard for so many mothers who still feel that they're stuck and things can't move forward. Well, I have Mrs. Tehseen here, and it's it's a delight to have her here. We've not had a mom from Bangladesh, and now we finally bring that mom in our orbit from Bangladesh. So, welcome, Tehseen ji. And I mean, I've heard so much about you. I've heard so much about you, but I always tell people that everybody, especially moms who live their stories, always tell their stories in the best possible way. And especially moms who've lived such fantastic, inspiring lives must come forward and tell their stories the way they want to tell the stories. So welcome to Mom Vibes. Welcome to this whole orbit of mothers. And please introduce yourself. Where I've already said you're from Bangladesh, but where are you from? What's the story till here? And then we'll take the conversation ahead.
Right. So thank you, Shikha, for inviting me in this platform. It's exciting. When I heard your purpose, I was more inspired that, okay, if it's something that's going to inspire others not to give up, definitely. But otherwise, I consider myself like any other mom. I live in Chittagong. Back when I started my journey, it was a small town. Like it was a small town, which was backwards in many ways. But I was fortunate enough to have studied in India after my schooling and then getting married at a very early age and then able to continue pursue education
Yeah.
uh, all the time. So I'm a learner, and of course I'm a mom of three proud children. Two of them are already married, and my youngest one is also 22. So
Lovely,
uh,
lovely. And yes, I just can hear that you are very, very interested in education. You wanted to learn a lot. You're always a lifelong learner, and you've been studying, and you can hear some nice chirping birds in the morning. You know, it's early morning here. So let them enjoy in the background. But, this whole learning thing has brought you to teach and bring so much more learning to so many people. What was that journey? How did you decide to come to the field that you're working in, and what's the field? Let's tell people about it. What's the field? How long you've been working, and what is the journey to come here and decide to start working? Uh,
yeah, so quickly to go back down 30 years. So I started when I was 19. So what happened was I belonged to a Muslim community where, those days early marriage was, emphasized. And my father had a dream, and I was the first person in my community from Chittagong to be there. 30 years back, my father decided to send me to Mumbai to study. And he really wanted me to graduate and, come up. But unfortunately, there was so much of social pressure that when I was 17, 18, there were so many proposals and so much pressure to get married that finally, okay, I had to decide that, okay, I'm ready to be engaged. When I got engaged, and we had told them that, I'm going to complete my education and then get married. And how it happens after a year, they want you to get married and then continue. So it was the same thing. My husband was very supportive back then, but he said, because my mother-in-law was quite old, so he said, no, it's her wish. So better, let's just get married. So that left me like after doing my inter from St. Xavier's, I had just 1 year because I knew that they will not let me finish 4 years. So then, that motivated me to start my early childhood education from Nirmala Nikatan.
right.
And that was the beginning of my journey into this field of education. And I really enjoyed that 1 year. So soon after I got married, I had a very supportive in-laws and family. In fact, as soon as I came from here, there were people who contacted me because they knew I have completed something in early childhood and they wanted to start a school. And I was more than happy to join them. So right after my marriage in I think a month, I joined the school. So I started in 1990 my first career in education, and since then it has never been going back, like keep moving forward. So it was in my mind that I could not fulfill my father's dream of being graduate, and I can't do it. So, but then I conceived right after marriage. So on my first anniversary, I had my daughter Insia with me. So I had to postpone my dream of learning. And then when my second son was born, I remember. So I started then, after when she was 2 years old, I started studying again, going to through privately, like appearing for college, and that I had to do from Bangladesh. So learning from India again, and then coming back to Bangladesh, and it was then everything in Bengali medium. And I'm of course born and brought up. I'm a pure Bangladeshi, but my origin belonged to India. So it was very difficult again to come back and give a graduation degree in Bengali. So I had to go through a lot of struggles of then trying to find out whether I will be able to give some papers in English, what are some papers I can give, and what are some papers I have to give in Bangla, because Bangla was not my first language. Anyhow, so I during pregnancy I used to go to teacher's house and get tuitions. And when my son was 40, not even days old, I appeared for my graduation exams. I had to go to
Wow.
board and give my exams. I know those days were tough, but of course the support from my family really helped me to push and finish it. So yeah, so that's the journey. When my first graduation got completed then, but I knew that that was just a degree but not the real learning, because Bangladesh at that time did not have the quality of education that we need, and our entire education sector is very bad during these days. Now we have, of course, come up a long way in the past 10
Yeah.
years, I would say. So that's how I began. And then I continued with my school. I became very soon I was the head for the nurseries and all. And then I was a vice principal, and then I was a principal for the junior kindergarten. And I worked almost 12 years with that same school whom we started. And then it was my youngest daughter, Azara, when she was born, I realized that I need to give her more time. And so I left the job, because I said, no, she needs time. And now being a leader, I can't give her the time she needs. So after that, when I left, and I realized that there was a lot more you could do for children of the community, of the society. So when she was ready to start a preschool, I went around Chittagong looking everywhere where I could find a preschool to put her, and not a single one. And people knew me. Everyone told me, Tessin, what you're looking, you're not going to get it. Why don't you start something on your own? Because I had done my preschooling, I knew what it should be, and I wasn't finding anything similar here. So that inspired me to start my preschool with my daughter, and started with 7 children on the first day. And very soon, in 6 months, I had to open up another classroom, because in 12 years, I had a lot of parents and a lot of people who knew me. So that started my preschool journey, basically.
Right.
And afterwards, so when I started my preschool, and before that, I used to volunteer in various organizations when I was working side by side, and I used to come across children who were not able to learn the way we were teaching them. They were struggling, and I knew that something we were doing was not right. We
Right.
were not able to understand these children, and I really felt helpless, that trying all teaching strategies, it wouldn't work, and there was something that the children couldn't remember put. So that was always that I need to know more about how to handle these kids. So when I started my preschool, I got 2 children, with special needs and all. And then I became I said, oh my God, I used to feel a lot for them. And in Chittagong, especially in Bangladesh, that time, there was no recognition, no awareness. Right now, also, there's no awareness on learning disability and all the spectrum. And forget about that. That was 20 years back. So then I decided that, okay, we need to study. So me and my colleague back then, and she said, okay, we are going to Delhi. And we went to Delhi. We got into a special education needs coordinator course, and that's where my journey to inclusion began. So when I completed my and in between, of course, I did my other Bachelor of English Language Teaching. So I kept I loved learning. So I did not give up. Because ultimately it was my dream to get masters from somewhere, from a reputed university outside.
Right.
So my bachelor's of education, bachelor's of arts was not helping me to get into any of the international universities. So I knew I needed another bachelor degree so that I could probably get in. So
Right.
I completed again when my daughter was very young. Again, I did my bachelor's of English language teaching, and then with Zara, I started my preschool, and then I realized that I need to learn more about special needs and all. So I did the coordinator course. We came back, we started here, and I realized I alone wasn't possible, because you need a pool of people who understands and who are ready to help you out. So
Right.
then very soon I invited Orchids to Bangladesh, and it was the first time in Bangladesh that a special education needs coordinator course was floated, and we were able to at least get 20 people to finish the diploma. So they came and they went back, and touch wood. So I can proudly say that at least we know Chittagong has 20 special educators who are able to make changes in the society through us.
This is so incredible, Tehsinji, so incredible. And what I just see in you is that, when you have a light inside of you, that light will keep guiding you, will keep knocking inside, will keep, if I can use the word, irritating you to keep moving forward, can't give up, can't give up. And the chain starts to form. And then you just keep forming the chain and they just keep going ahead. And what I hear about your journey is that, um, like two things that's coming to me, and I recently had made a post on my Facebook saying that a mother can raise a very happy and great family. I don't exactly remember what I said, but to bring the mother back to dreaming, a whole family is needed. One mother is enough to bring everybody's dream together in a family, but to bring the mother back, you need the whole family support. So that comes to me that, when the whole family supports a mother to start dreaming, because a mother single-handedly can support everybody's dreams. When she quits her job or leaves her work or leaves her dreams, she's enough to, bring her children's dreams, her husband's, in-law, everybody's dreams, and put them right there by supporting it. But when she needs support, sometimes she needs the whole family to put her back in her dreams. So I see that. I see that with you. I see that with Mustard Ma'am, that he's just, all of you have been supported tremendously by your family at a very young age. And it didn't stop. So that's been a big blessing that the family support was there to let you keep going. And then there's no looking back, and especially when we have traditional societies like India, Bangladesh, we have societies where once you get married, once you have children, and then it starts to go down. And also I realized that it's not only here, this dreaming starts to go down everywhere in the world with mothers I'm talking to. The family support has brought such a big change in Bangladesh. So I must compliment the family that supported you at a very young age and, helped you with your children when you were going for exams, helped you do all that. So that's an incredible story in itself. And second, that I always say that there are clues that keep falling in front of us. And all of us just need to keep picking those clues up without any doubt. Open the clue, read it, and move forward. That's the only thing we should do in life, because all of us get clues. And that's what we've done. Clue after clue after clue.
Shika, you're so very right. Because, when I started this special education journey, not a single soul in my city, who knew. There was so much darkness. And I said, oh my God, there and so many children need you, right? And there, like, there's endless number of people, and right now COVID has made the scenario worse.
Yes.
So and I really believe, because I really, in Bangladesh there was no course available. So through my friend, her cousin from Delhi got us that there's Orchids who gives a distance learning. You only need to come here twice a year or something. You can study. And I'm talking about 20 years, 2009, way back. And that was the second course that they started. And I said, oh, God really wants me to do this, because, you are very right when you said that, something opens the door. When you have a pure intention of doing something great, especially looking at Chittagong, if you look at our demographic and everything, to have something like this established here,
Yes.
just because I think I had a very deep down. I really want to make inclusion a reality for Bangladesh. I want to set an exemplary model for our Bangladesh that it is possible. If it's possible in the world, we can also make this pool of children who are wi- fighting for their life, for their everything. If we have an intention, we all can make sure that they become productive citizen of our country.
Yeah, and for me to hear this, that even today Bangladesh doesn't have it. It's such a long work that's needed still because
Exactly.
special education, world is moving forward in so many ways now, and people like you who make the first dent, who pave the way, and I want people like this. I think Sarah is here, and Kartika is here. Please, Sarah, Kartika, come in comments, say hi to her because what an incredible person who is paving the way where there's nothing about special needs. She's working for the past 20 years to bring special needs education in Bangladesh, being the pioneer in Bangladesh, who's starting it, bringing more people, talking about it, holding arms. And as just before the interview, I was telling her that, you should be on more social media. She's like, I'm already hands full. That shows dedication because just yesterday I was reading about Mother Teresa, and when the Pope came in to meet Pope, the sixth Pope, and she was working in some work she was doing with some people, and he called her to meet her, and she said, "Sorry, this time I cannot meet you. I'll meet you again." Because I'm very busy working in this. So that's what she did. She did say no. And people fell more in love with her because all she was about service. She was all about putting her, focus. And that's what she said, I committed to focus on the service that I have started. So incredible work. And I can absolutely imagine we are very similar in countries. I can so imagine that from parents to educating people around how to treat them, how to talk to them, what is it, how to understand them. It itself is a big challenge apart from, bringing these children into a direction, giving them purpose, giving them life. There is another part of the work just to be done around parents, about society, about understanding, and just not labeling and just discarding by saying, no, they're not going to ever work. And to pave the way where there's none, I absolutely salute you for that. And doing that, Sinji, is very, very incredible. So let's see what is the difficulty that you're facing, because people are going to listen to this and make sure that more people listen to this. You don't know where the support keeps coming for your country to get more education here. So let's hear the troubles that you go through and have gone through in making this happen.
So basically, of course, when I started the school, so what happened was that till 2000, from 2009 to 2017, 2003, I started my preschool, and I would leave these children after my preschool because I was a preschooler. So I would work on the foundation, I would bring them up, and I would prepare them that if with little support, they can be moved to a formal school. And I realized that the children were struggling so much. The mothers would come and cry on my table saying, "Ma'am, we did so much and now my child has gone back. She's not getting the support, not a small support of, giving extra time or, just," and they would cry and they would beg me that, "Please, ma'am, please expand." And of course, my mentors who have been in India, and I constantly, of course, I need a big support. So I have my mentor team working in India, which includes Masarat ma'am also. They all kept saying that, "Tessie, you need to move forward. If you really want inclusion to be a reality, you will have to go and start a school with primary." And I said, "I'm not ready." And then, of course, I wanted to finish my master's. So I then got into Ashford University in master's and did my special education as a major, because I knew that if I want to go ahead, and taking responsibility of these children and making sure that they come out independent, successful, I needed to learn. So a lot of struggles, but that was a plan. So I finished my master's. Then in 2017, I started my academy. So it was interesting when academy started and for marketing purpose and all, and they said Froebel is known as a school only for special need, and they say, oh, our regular children don't say that's a special school, and in Bangladesh it's a pagolar school, like people, mad people. So that was people there, and many parents would come to and say, oh, if these children are studying, my child couldn't go. So it was, in fact, there was a PhD and a very high profile person who came, who just sharing the story that how people think here. And she admitted and she said, oh, I can build you another building, ma'am. I can give you all the support, but why these children are here? They should be going to another school. I will make it for you, and you can, and and it was so shocking. I said, please come and see my academy where the children are. Can you even locate one child who is having this? And they did not take that. They took the admission. They never sent the child because they thought that my child can't study with these children. So these were the struggles, and when making people understand, acceptance building. As I said, that people, I think last 5 years they have started through, because I do a lot of awareness, lot of talks, making them understand, giving them examples that look, these children are just doing fine. And I think those parents who have been helped, they keep going and saying that, you need to first accept and move forward. If you don't accept, nothing can. So the biggest challenge was like parents awareness, getting the parents to accept it, and then society's acceptance, like that inclusion. Why inclusion? Like still they think that no, these children need special school, they can't be coming to with regular school because our children will learn a role model. But of course things have changed from day one. Alhamdulillah, Froebel has been a very pioneer institution. So I don't need to advertise, I don't need to wait, we have waiting lists. So and I tell them beforehand, it's very, everywhere it's very clear, it's inclusion. If you accept, then come. If you don't accept, don't come. But they're not going to change. So these have been my biggest struggle. And then training teachers, because as I said again, we do not have training institutes here.
What reminds me is about inclusion. About when I was very young, maybe probably 1920, when I started baby photography in this country, this was not heard of at that time. I was given a project by DPS, and they had started the inclusion program, and then DPS gave me a project to photograph them. And this is just an incident, and at a very, I can understand this was 20 years back. Inclusion, and you're still struggling with inclusion in Bangladesh, and very few, you're just saying 20. I think you need at least 200 people right now as people in Bangladesh to take this ahead, and I wish that happens faster. And I was taken to a class, and then then they said, okay, we have inclusion program, we must have exhibition of some inclusion, and this is the board for inclusion. And then there was conceptually a separate board for inclusion, right? And this is inclusion kids. And so I smiled and I said, well, the word is inclusion and we are having a separate board. We're not going to have a separate board. In the exhibition of the photographs, we are going to. So she's like, all right, and whatever. She's like, okay, it's all your baby. And I was always very determined of what I want. And I went ahead and I photographed them. I still remember they were very young. And I was being introduced, this child has this. I said to teachers, okay, leave. I don't need to know what the child has. I put on a music at that time, some music which was very famous. And there were kids who were 8 years old and there were kids who were 3 years old. And music connects, somehow connected. And I had these couple of, confetti and stuff that I was just throwing in the air. And what happened with that picture I still remember was that they started to try and get attracted in their own way and started to laugh and smile with the confetti falling on their face. And then there were a lot of smiling pictures. And then I mixed them up and put them in the exhibition. Wow. And nobody could make a difference between the child who was in the inclusion program or otherwise. And I think the principal was in tears and she like, you really included them today and mixed them up. It's so much work still needed. And I've tagged some moms who really, really, really work in this field and are pioneers in working. And I would love maybe to start, these things come to me very spontaneously. A whole series here. Even Masanam is there, Francis is there, Lena is going to join, and Sarah is there watching us. We must start a series on just interviewing and bringing something on interviewing and figuring it out, how to deal with this issue in countries where it's needed, like Bangladesh, or in countries which it's really gone ahead in this thing, and bring it all together. So that's coming to my mind. I don't know how it will pan out together, but I am willing to start a whole series of interviews and do that as a thing. And when you're saying that, it's mad people school, and I can, my mother was schizophrenic about, when I was very, very young. And from having the fact that there are ghosts, to having the fact that something is gone inside of them, to bringing so much thing, because there was no understanding of schizophrenia 40 years back or 45 years back. I think poor her, she went through a lot trying to explain what was happening to her, but just nobody could hear her, understand. And today we can stand and talk about the movies on schizophrenia and how people have won Nobel Prize with that. So I think that kind of work happens with people like you, who keep working to bring things out, to keep paving the way, and your determination. I'm really, really, really standing here very proud that we are here together in interview, because I have a feeling something new will start through you in this thing, and many moms will join us to take this whole thing away, that these are our children, and these are our children here living, and we must, just sometimes my 2-year-old, making him understand just the basic gets so much of a problem, and I'm just like, we're just not understanding what I'm saying, and I lose so much patience sometimes. And when it comes to kids in inclusion, we need 10 times more, they go back, we need to start again. So thank you for doing this work there, CJ. And like, what is the one message, and what is your wish that you want for Bangladesh? Let's hear that. Let's hear the dream that you have for Bangladesh
This
inclusion.
dream that children, especially, my whole life has, and I started academy, so it's a big campus with experiential learning model, which is itself very unique in Bangladesh. And touch wood, we have already won a recognition for being an, doing things out of the box, and something that is needed. And I've inspired by Riverside, and I've inspired by so my passion, my dream and passion is to see, like in Bangladesh you will still find children moving out of Bangladesh to study, because they feel that the quality of education is still not there, so everyone tries to send their children abroad.
Right.
I want to stop that culture. I want to give them a message that yes, it is possible to have a quality education in Bangladesh of international standard, and we will make sure that we are preparing children for the 21st century challenges that we are coming across
True.
by understanding children with from very different mindset. So though we have academic goals, but my entire idea is making inclusion a reality in Bangladesh. So I have right now till grade 7. So I started my academy with my preschoolers who have grown to grade 7. And there's so many children on inclusion in these. The day they will graduate, like when they complete in 4 years, grade 10, and when I finally see them being successful, is I think where I will consider myself that yes, I did it. Because right now it's still, because my journey, I'm learning every day, because they have now become teenagers, so we're working. Masarat ma'am is also helping me a lot on what do we do, how do we get them to functional skill, because Shishika realizing everything I have to do, like I keep telling people, why don't you somebody take up something, so that but it's all right. I believe I will fight this. And as I said before, so I have a huge family support and the parent company support, who are helping me to achieve my vision and mission of making a child-centered education and inclusive education a reality. And I
Right.
think I'm waiting for that day where I will have my children graduating from my doors.
All
And
right. You already
that's
are doing it. You're doing it.
but still for me, I think when my first batch crosses, that's when it will give me a confidence that yes, I dreamt something and I did it, and I'm sure I will, because and it's a support from everywhere, and I have a tremendous support from Indian. All my mentors, as I said, because we both are neighboring countries, we have similar culture. So I don't take consultants from other, like other Western countries or anywhere. I stick to India, because there's so much of similarity among us, and we have so much to learn from each other. So
Right.
it's a whole support that actually in India that I get, that is helping our parents today uh, uh, to get this power, because ultimately through them I'm able to achieve this success, because constantly we're training people, though we have a diploma holders only 20, but we are constantly engaging in professional development, and we have started a training academy just so that we can change the scenario of education in Bangladesh. So we are doing a PPTC course, and so my journey and all awareness, inclusivity, parent awareness, parent trainings, I staff training, including staff and inclusion. So it's not about only students, it's
Oh, not at
inclusion
all.
that can happen from every angle. So how do I include community? So we have a lot of citizenship model, where our young graders as young as 2 are solving problems through design for change. They are doing a lot, and citizenship model where we are associated with one organization, and our children are working with them throughout the year. So every grade has those projects. So it's not only about academics, it's becoming a person who from childhood knows that what their contribution is going to be in the society, and how the small steps they take at this age is having so much impact. So preparing them to remain in Bangladesh and to do the best they can.
Right.
That's my
And
that's
and and it's going to happen. It started and you've come a long way. And when I started this project, these days I'm telling everyone that my last leg is left of launching the book in person. And I don't know what I'm paving. Like I'm paving some way for mothers to come there. Honestly, like people ask me, "What's your why? What are you doing?" I don't know what I'm paving. So I must gift you this because I'm a visual, I'm a photographer, I'm a visual person. For me, I have dropped all my bags and I have dropped everything and I'm climbing the last leg. Light, like people ask me, what's your why? I said, I don't even know that. Ask me when I'm there what my why was. Ask me why I'm doing it. How did I do it? I don't know anything. Don't ask me. All I'm doing is climbing the last leg and maybe making the way. So all the mothers that I'm bringing can climb easily and come up and start telling their stories from right at the top and tell people that motherhood must be honored formally. I feel the same with you. You're just making the way right now, right? You're just making so
still I'm not there. You are
yeah,
100%
yeah.
right.
So you're just making it, and what's more important is just not at that time. I think it doesn't even matter how many people join. All you keep doing is just keep making that way so that the ones who are coming behind can walk easily on it and make it broader, make it nicer, make it prettier, and they just keep walking on it and top. So that's what I feel with you as well. That's what you're doing. You're just climbing, you're just climbing, you're just climbing and making
Every
the
day, one step
and
at a
telling
time.
people this is the stone, next one is here, don't do this one because this one will just take you down, this is not. So making and marking the way is what you're
Yes,
doing. And it's
definitely.
incredible. I really am happy that we brought you here in an interview. And inclusion, like this word has to go away, that they're mad people. It's still there in many countries. This has to just go away. These are our kids. We need to open our arms and give them support. They just need a little extra support. And
That's
that's about it. And I'm sure we have a lot of support and compassion in us. We just have to recognize it is
and
not, they're not different. It's just they need a little extra support from us. And that little extra support will bring these lives so much joy, and so much will change in so many ways. So we will start a series. I keep announcing these things spontaneously. It happens to me in all the interviews when I hear something inspiring. I think time has come to use this space to start a series on how countries where it's very new and still a lot of work is needed, how we can support. And I also feel that all support not necessarily needs to be physical, just the awareness ball running with a golden light, including people and inspiring people is good enough. So let's
Yeah.
become that golden light together in the world and say that let's inspire and attract everybody to this light that's moving and make inclusion one of our I will put inclusion as one of the values, core values of this mission once we've done with the launch. And if I want to leave now and tell you what is that one thing that you would say that you've learned in starting such a beautiful thing, a difficult journey. It's difficult at many, many stages. Not, as you just said, not only children need to be educated, you need to educate the staff, you need to educate the teachers, you need to educate the parents, you need to educate the society, you need to just keep panning out and educating more and more and more people. So what is that one thing you would want to tell people this journey has brought, one, in your life, and two, that what's the message you would like to, before we wrap up, give to the world?
So just my, of course, determination, the will to do something, that passion. If you have a passion, I think you automatically get the pathway. So, you know, and of course, there has to be hard. Of course, there's no shortcut to hard work, as my brother-in-law always keeps saying. So we must work hard and have a strong determination. As I said, that, you know, when, like, anybody would say, how is it possible? Like, when I started, but I never thought that. I said, no, it is possible, and I'm going to make sure that it is going to be possible.
I'm so proud of you that you started this. So
Yeah.
proud of you.
Just that has kept motivating me, that yes, I will prove to everyone that, look, these children studying in the same classroom today have been able to achieve so many things in life. And that's when I think my journey will never stop only after graduation, till I see them become independent and, you know, become a productive citizen, in the sense earning by themselves, doing things by themselves, and contributing to society is my ultimate dream for these kids. And I do have a lot of things in my mind which I wish to do, and they go reach there. So let's hope. And of course, people like you who keep inspiring and who are there to support us. And you are very well. You have someone that yes, it is a journey which is difficult, but it's not impossible. We just need the right mindset, and I think, as you said, strong willpower to continue doing what you believe is right. And I think, then God will always show you the light. This is my strong belief.
Yes, I believe that. And I am very determined after this interview to start the inclusion program. We already have inclusion in our book. We have all mothers included.
Exactly. I was about to say, you're already doing a lot of inclusion.
I already am doing it, but from children's point of view, some work needs to be done. So a lot of inclusion is already in the book, but I think needs to pan out to children. And now, because we are 100 mothers and more, because I just keep finding more and more. I just spoke to a mom I'm bringing in who's just adopted 17 children in India. She came back from US and she's adopted 17 kids. And she's a grandmother of 5 and she has 17 kids. She's adopted. Just that I told her, if you're not a mom who is like adopting 7 children and taking charge of them. So when you hear stories like that and you bring them forward, the locking arms is the only thing you can do, because everything is not about telling the world, this is right, this is wrong, these are the rights, these are the thing. It's all like that has its own space. But what the space is needed is inspiration. And I keep telling my children as well that there are 2 kinds of light in life. One is fire and one is golden light. Both of them emit light, but one attracts and other repels. So if we can become the golden light, if we can roll that ball where people come running after that golden light, wanting to be part of it, a lot of work is already done. That is a lot of ripple effect going down, and you are a golden light, rolling the ball in Bangladesh, becoming an inclusion, making the inclusion program with full determination. And now, honestly, it's reached here in an international platform with so many mothers. We have Sarah, Francis, everybody right now joining us here. And we will do, all of us will do something together and maybe create a whole series so that the ball keeps becoming bigger and bigger and more people start embracing this and holding their arms and smiling at them and taking them to the place they belong to with a little extra support. Definitely patience and support, but it's possible.
It is possible. Nothing.
Thank you so much for coming in, and
thank you, Shikha, for having me.
And
Yes,
you're
and I
incredible.
wish you good luck with everything that you're doing. And if I can do anything to support you in this, it will be my pleasure. So,
You've already given me an idea. The support has already started. We will do something during launch with inclusion as well. Masad ma'am is there as well. She is also another inspiration. The way she
and
keeps running and doing things. She's in the book. We have many international moms who will, I know, join it. So what's coming to me is a section with inclusion during the launch. Definitely will be there, including kids. I mean to say, we already have inclusion in a big way with mothers, but we'll have inclusion with kids and we'll do something. So thank you for giving me this
thank you so much.
perfect Sunday morning and inspiring me even more to be like people like you who just keep walking, and bless you. And
Thank
this is just a beginning of meeting us. I know many things are coming.
you. Right. Thank you so much once
Have a
again.
nice day. Everybody in the comments, thank you so much for always loving. And, I will reply to it because my comments are stuck, but I can see some people viewing it. And I just am dying to meet all of these moms in November. So see you soon. And I'm just going to go off live. Have a fantastic
Bye.
good night somewhere and morning, so many other places.